being behind on your mortgage and solutions to catch up. I did a video the other day on the consequences of late payments on your bills, but decided that it would be better to do a video on what happens if you're late on your mortgage, behind on your mortgage, and offer some solutions to help you out of that situation. First of all, you can call your lender and attempt to set up a repayment plan, and this is the simplest option. If you're a couple of payments behind, call them up and see if it's possible to work out an arrangement to add some extra money to your payment each month until you get caught up. Do not just add on extra to your payment each month because it may be misapplied. You want to make sure that you've called and worked out some sort of arrangement and found out exactly what steps to follow. The last thing you want to be doing is thinking that you're catching up on your mortgage, but actually paying some money towards principal. It's a pro and con kind of thing because, okay, you're reducing your principal balance, but that's not helping you avoid the late charges and avoid the damage that was otherwise being done to your credit. Now, after that option, there's a possibility that your lender might offer you a forbearance deferment situation. And a lot of people get those two terms confused. A forbearance means that your payments are suspended for a period of time, but you're reported as current as far as the credit reporting agencies are concerned. And a forbearance is a pretty nice thing. It is a bit of a stall tactic is what it is. It allows you the chance to catch up. Now, of course, you've got to establish a plan to catch up, and that's where a deferment might come into play as well. They might suspend your payments for a period of time and then simply tack those payments onto the end of your mortgage, and that's where the deferment comes into play. Your payments are deferred until later. Essentially, it's a way of stretching out your mortgage a little bit without having to refinance it, which brings us to a loan modification. A loan modification is almost a loan modification is almost a refinance of your mortgage. And it could be quite useful to you as well. A loan modification tends to do two things. It can give you a longer term. For instance, if you've got a 10 or a 15-year mortgage, well, then stretching it out to being a 30-year mortgage might give you the help that you need as far as reducing your payment. Could probably, just doing that could probably reduce it, your monthly payment by $400 or $500 or more. The other thing that it might be able to do is reduce the interest rate that you're paying on a mortgage, which of course would be a good thing, because not only does that help you now, it helps you in the long run in lower interest charges. So the two together can be quite powerful. It's not always a guarantee that you're going to get it, however, so there's that. If you are more than 3 months behind on your mortgage, then it's doubtful that you're going to be able to take advantage of a loan modification. There is a sweet spot for those between 1 and 3 months. Okay, the next option is to find ways to reduce some of your escrow costs. Maybe you just need a little bit of help to be able to make your payment each month. And I'm not judging. There's life things that do tend to get in the way. One option is to shop around for cheaper homeowners insurance. Now, cheaper is not always better, but sometimes you're in a pinch. You don't have much in the way of choices. Another option is, of course, to see if you can apply for a tax abatement. This is something that seniors in particular tend to be able to take advantage of. It's in cases in particular where their home might be assessing for more than it's really worth. That's where an abatement would come into play. So their assessed taxes are too high. a third and better option, of course, one that I'm a bigger fan of, is dropping PMI. You might be able to get a new appraisal on your home, which shows that your equity that you've got in your home is greater than 20%, which would mean that you could get rid of PMI. Don't know if this will work for you. Not all lenders are willing to accept a new appraisal. Many of them will judge your PMI by the old appraisal, but hey, it's worth a shot, okay? Another option to go along with PMI, and by the way, I've done a whole video talking about PMI, but one of the things I didn't cover in there was that you might be able to file a partial PMI claim to cover the missed payments, the payments that you're behind. Of course, you could see where that would in particular come in handy for you. So again, it might be an option that you're able to pursue. You could file a claim, get a partial, and get the breathing room that you need. Another option, and this one is not very likely, but it is something that can happen, and that is to apply for a principal reduction. Similar to the assessment being too high, when you're kind of upside down in your mortgage, that's where this would come into play. As far as I know, only Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac actually do principal reductions. It's based on underwriting and the actual value of your home. There was a federal program thanks to the 2008 housing crisis, but that expired in 2016. So it's something that you could at least ask about. There's certainly no harm in doing that. Now, coming up last on the list is checking into state, local, and federal resources for help. There may be programs that you could take advantage of that will allow you to get the breathing room that you need, get some help. I know there's a lot of help out there for veterans, for folks that are handicapped, so certainly there's some options that you can look to and take advantage of. Now, it's worth noting that banks do not want to foreclose on your home. It may seem like they do at the time, especially from all the nasty grams that they'll send you when you're behind on your bills, right? They'll just act like, oh, it's the easiest thing ever. No, it's a long, drawn-out, tedious process. There's court costs and things. Then once they get the foreclosure on their home, they have to go through a whole other process to evict you. So that means that there's time for you to pursue options, okay? Now, part of the reason why I say that they do not want to foreclose on your home is because they make more money, obviously, in interest off of you if you stay in your home. That's, a little bit of a no-brainer there. But it's true, they do, okay? And if they have to foreclose on your home and evict you and everything else, well, then the home is likely to deteriorate. There will be maintenance and upkeep costs. There will be legal fees and tax issues. Just a wide variety. Trust me when I tell you that they will look for any excuse they can to try and work with you. You've just got to meet them halfway. All right, so aside from all of these methods, it's worth noting that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, okay? The best thing you can do is to have an emergency fund set up so that you don't fall into these type of situations. I preach about it all the time. It's a great thing to have. Another thing, of course, is to be mindful of your budgeting and check on your budget on a regular basis. Monitor things. Be proactive. If you see layoffs coming down the pike, look for a stopgap job. Have a side hustle going on. There are ways to avoid being in this situation at all. And I've also done a video on triage, some triage that you could do. Really, your mortgage, your rent should be the very last thing that you are ever late on. It should be the most direst of emergencies that cause that situation to happen. Now, granted, I've been there. It's happened to me, so it can happen. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be because you're a boob. There could be extenuating circumstances. But if you've got any questions on anything I've talked about, guys, then feel free to hit me with those in the comments below the video, or send those to me at fustyandfinance@gmail.com. The best thing you could do, however, is share this video with your friends, so that if they are in this situation, they know that all hope is not gone and they've got some options they can take advantage of.